position.
Okay.
I'll teach you how to like breathe, but I'm gonna take you from sitting down, or from laying down to sitting to standing.
Okay.
You kind of go how to shift your posture.
When I
Cool.
think about us,
So we'll start here, then we'll.
think about you leaving. When I
Hey,
think
how it's going,
about
okay.
you leaving,
With
how
the-
I wish that you could stay, but I don't get down.
You tell me when you're ready.
I've been going.
Is it still Trinity Strength? Yeah, you got the shirt on. So.
Still Trinity Strength, yes.
Okay.
They're all that's the same. We're just not.
Cool. All right, tell me when you're ready.
Okay, 5.
Guys, I am so excited for this segment of Outside the Box Conversations. It might be a conversation, it might be a story, depending on how I do. But this is Outside the Box, and we are here with Zack Kramer from Trinity Strength. We've had a few podcasts with him talking about breathing. It's been something that I've told lots of people, if there's anything that's changed my life over the last year, it's been introducing this idea of nose breathing and actually being very intentional about the way I breathe. So Zack, why don't you intentional about the way I breathe? That's kind of it's kind of interesting to say that. But Zack, walk us through kind of what you're going to do with me. We're going to do a demonstration, totally selfish on my end, but hopefully it's going to help you guys as well.
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about nose breathing, the importance of breathing through your nose before, but equally as important is how you breathe just with your muscles, with your belly, diaphragm, pelvic floor, all of that jazz. So we're basically going to take Ben here through the process. So we take any person that we work with through to learn how to breathe correctly and how to use that to adjust their posture and relax throughout the day.
Now, is this something that you would do right before a workout, or is this going to be like part of a warm-up routine, as we, progress, or is this something that is actually a workout?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is, it won't really be a workout, it's more like teaching education. So
Okay.
if we have somebody who we just start working with, we want to take them through what we call like the fundamentals, or where we just begin teaching them how to move correctly. And if you want to be able to squat correctly, deadlift correctly, press correctly, you have to be able to breathe correctly. So we always start there.
So there's a correlation between how you breathe and how you move, because before we started recording, you were telling me how you've been kind of shocked at mobility and how that's lacking in today's world, or the people who are working out, the people you see here. How are they interconnected, out of curiosity?
Yeah, the biggest thing is when we aren't using our diaphragm to breathe, and you'll see we really lose our posture. And so anytime we're lifting weights or doing something like that, if we're not breathing correctly, using our posture correctly, then we start to compensate in other places. Yep.
Let's get rolling.
Let's do it.
All right.
So what I'm gonna have you do, just lay flat on the ground. You'll have your feet flat on the floor as well. So your knees will be bent up in the air. So just lay down, put your feet, soles of your feet down. Good? All right, perfect. So what I'm gonna have you do, try to relax as much as you can, okay? Don't, as hard as it is, because we're gonna be talking about breathing, try not to think about breathing right now.
All right.
Okay, so just nice and relaxed. Now I'll probably let people hang out here a little bit longer while we watch to see how they're breathing. You can tell he's thinking about it a little bit, or he's pretty naturally already starting to see just some movement in the belly, not as much as in the chest. That's what I'm looking for first. So go ahead and put one hand on your belly and one on your chest. Yeah. Okay. So now it's just going to bring a little bit of awareness, and if you do this on your own, what you're wanting to think about is just feeling movement in the hand here. You should feel no movement in the hand on your chest. So a lot of people, take a big breath in your chest for me. Can you do that? So a lot of people, you'll see that chest rise and fall, and a lot of people will see that is very natural for them, but we don't want that. So we begin teaching them to just feel it in the hand and the belly, nothing in the chest. Ben's doing pretty good here, okay?
Is that something that's more natural when you nose breathe? Is it naturally going to be a belly breath?
Yeah, it does. Actually, breathing in through your nose cues your diaphragm better. So if we, kind of look at Ben here, we've got kind of lungs and heart up here. Your diaphragm comes right in here, which is the muscle that actually helps you breathe. So when you breathe, your diaphragm pulls down to create a vacuum to bring the air into your lungs. You don't actually pull air into your lungs by using your lungs. You do that by using your diaphragm. But what happens is we sit all day, we get out of poor posture, as you'll see here in a minute, as we make this more difficult for Ben. And we end up compensating by using our chest and shoulders to pull that air in instead of using our belly, okay?
Is that because our brain is telling us that we need more air? Because you mentioned that with working out, and I'm assuming when you feel like you need more air, that's when you start to really use the chest.
I would say that's part of it. maybe when you're exercising, but honestly, for the most people we see, it's simply because they're thinking about trying to move your like middle toe only, right? You probably haven't tried to do that in a while, so it's really hard to connect your brain to that middle toe and operate it. So that's kind of what's happening with your diaphragm. It's a muscle that we just basically get out of rhythm of using. So if we sit all day, and we're not using our diaphragm to breathe, and we start compensating with our chest and shoulders because we have to get that air in somehow.
And can you just, really, this is for me, guys. The diaphragm, what is that again?
It's a muscle that comes like right here. Okay, it looks like a parachute or an umbrella. And so basically, if you got your lungs here, as your diaphragm pulls down, it pulls air into the lungs. So it's a big muscle right here that separates your lungs from kind of your guts.
And breathing through your belly cues the diaphragm to.
Yeah, we say belly. I'll take you through the next step here.
All right, let's do it.
So, hand on your belly, hand on your chest. So now what we do, we really want to see how much we can fire up the diaphragm. So what I'm going to have Ben do is to imagine he's got a big balloon underneath this hand in his belly. I'm going to have him try to fill that balloon up as much as he possibly can on each inhale. So every time you breathe in, try to fill this balloon up as much as you can without moving anything here. Good, and then just relax on the way out. Try to do a little bit more in each time, still no movement in the chest. Big breath in. Good. Okay, now keep doing this, but now I want you to start to feel some pressure through the floor, through your back. Start to feel the pressure in the ground. Yeah.
Am I pressing in the ground?
Yeah, as you breathe in, we want to fill that balloon up so much that you actually expand 360 degrees around your belly. So you should feel some pressure into the ground. So basically, the more air he can pull in without using his chest, the more he's getting his diaphragm to draw down to pull in more air. You're trying to get that diaphragm to flex as much as you can. Good. Okay, so right now, the way he's breathing right now, he's in really good posture. Obviously, fairly easy to do when you're on your back. There's a really good way to cue your postures. If you can breathe really deep into the belly like this, it means you're in good posture. Okay, a lot of times we think different things for our posture, but the best cue is, can I take a deep breath into my belly? So go ahead and sit down for me on the bench. We'll mimic sitting at our desk or something. Okay. So now go hand on belly, hand on chest. All right. Try to breathe in just as much into your belly as you were before.
For some reason, it's more difficult.
It's a little more difficult. Yeah. So what I'll have you do is 2 different adjustments. So first one I want you to feel is really arch. Like puff your chest out, arch your lower back. Now try to breathe in. Like as big of an arch as you can. There you go. Try to breathe in. A little shallower. Hard, right? Okay, so that's one way we see poor posture throughout the day is people sit like this or stand like this.
Okay.
You can't breathe into the belly very well.
Okay.
Now do a slouch like you're at your desk, being lazy. Same thing. Try to breathe just in your belly. Still a little more tough.
Mm-hmm.
So these are both ways we see poor posture throughout the day. Now try to find the right in between to get as much air in as possible in your belly. You can go back on the hand and chest. If you think about like having a belt buckle on, you can play with either pointing that belt buckle to the sky or pointing it towards the floor to help you breathe in more.
Okay.
Still definitely more challenging than on the floor.
Yeah.
But can you feel how, as you adjust your posture, you can get more air into your belly sitting too, whether you're slouching or...
Yeah, I can definitely feel it shallow here. I didn't feel it as much here.
Yeah.
But I'm trying, do you think I need to adjust my hip tilt?
Yeah, you can adjust your hip tilt if you need to. I mean, right now you look pretty good. I think you're just not like, you just got to work on cueing your diaphragm a little bit more to be able to get in those deeper breaths. Let's go ahead and stand up. And the same thing here. A lot of times here's where we see too much of an arch. People stand like this. So same thing, hand on chest, hand on belly. And then just adjusting, your pelvic tilt, adjusting your ribs. Find where you can breathe the best into your belly. You can point your belt buckle towards the sky just a little bit more. But again, if you play around with like too much of an arch or kind of slouching, finding that in between is how you can figure out if you're in good posture or not. Where can you bring the most air into your belly?
So the way to realize this is where can I fill up the balloon the most is essentially good posture.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what can people take from this as they either go into the gym or as they're going through their day while they're sitting down at a computer? What's something that they can do?
So one thing we always tell people, especially when they're joining a gym, they're going to start exercising again, is for every movement in here, we should have that proper tilt where we're breathing into the belly well. Whether we're squatting or we're deadlifting, we never want to lose that posture. And we're adding load when we're in the gym. So really throughout the day is when we need to be practicing having good posture. We can't expect to have bad posture throughout the day, come into the gym, put weight on our backs, and then be like, okay, now I'm going to have good posture. So you have to practice it throughout the day. And just every now and then, maybe once an hour, whenever you can think about it, asking yourself, oh, can I breathe into my belly? That's a good way just to practice your posture throughout the day so that you can have better posture when you're exercising.
Is that a muscle? So like,
Diaphragm is, yeah.
So your diaphragm's a muscle that you can exercise. Does it get more flexible? And,
It's more
and like
flexible.
how far out do you want to go?
It gets more flexible. After you're able to breathe out, you also want to start practicing being able to breathe out laterally and through your back. So it's really about being able to breathe 360 degrees. But yeah, your abs are involved as well. So your abs are involved more in the exhale, squeezing the air out. So really every breath is a core exercise of breathing in with your diaphragm, which is really important if you're lifting really heavy weights to create that tension and brace to lift. And every exhale, you're using your abs, using your pelvic floor, which we talk a lot about as well for health, to exhale. So you're getting those reps every breath if you're doing them correctly.
Now, are you still coaching people to breathe through their nose when they're doing these exercises, or never in their mouth?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Mouth's kind of reserved for higher intensity stuff. Yeah.
okay, for the person who might have a deviated septum or have trouble breathing through their nose.
Yeah.
You and I have talked a little bit about how our noses can actually change as we force this.
Yes.
What's your coaching to the person who thinks that, well, I can't breathe through my nose?
Right. I mean, I would say give it a really strong effort for a month. If you have, I have a deviated septum, but it's not severe. So, I mean, if you have an issue, go to the doctor, get it checked out. But yes, for most people we see, if you just stick with it, even though it seems hard, and you adjust the intensity of your exercises to where you can nose breathe, it'll adjust and open up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So, final piece of advice, guys, lay it on us. As we start,
piece of advice.
Yeah, as we start through our workout, what should we do?
As you start the workout?
Start the workout and throughout the day.
Yeah, throughout the day is just pay attention to your breathing. Try to come back to it. It's going to help you, stop racing thoughts, but it's also going to help your posture and just add strength throughout the day. Going into the workouts, similar thing. You want to focus on your posture on every single movement. Even in the bottom of a squat, you should be able to breathe fully into your belly. Okay, so any movement, you should be checking your posture to make sure you're doing it correctly.
Out of curiosity, are we supposed to be holding our breath as we do a lift like that? Or I know
It depends on the repetition. So if you're going like really heavy, say I'm doing a 1 rep max squat, 1 rep max deadlift, you're going to hold your breath, bear down, create that tension, and then you'll lift the weights. Now, if we're doing lots of repetitions, say we're doing squats without weight, say we're doing something like kettlebell swings, you're going to usually exhale as you exert. So it's still important to pay attention to it and time it up. So like on a squat, you would breathe in as you go down, breathe out as you stand up.
Super cool, man. Well, I appreciate this.
Absolutely.
Now, how can everybody find you if there's videos like this? Where can people find you online?
Yeah, the best is trinitystrength.org. If you head to us there, you can find out more about us and contact us, and we'll give you a call.
Guys, this has been Outside the Box, conversations or stories or demonstrations. We're not sure. I'm your host, Ben Rogers. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope this was helpful.
It don't go away. No, it don't go away.